Hey everyone, it's Jenny here from Sports Day Tribune, and today we're diving into the world of basketball fashion. Angel Reese, the star, just turned heads with her stunning pregame outfit at Wintrust Arena. Let's break down this style moment and chat about why it's causing such a stir in the sports world. So, picture this. Angel Reese struts into Wintrust Arena on Friday, and she's not just bringing her A-game on the court, she's bringing it in the fashion department too. We're talking an all-white Prada ensemble that's got everyone talking. But hold up, it's not just the outfit. She's also carrying a black handbag that costs a cool $1,299. Talk about making an entrance. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of pre-game outfits, I usually imagine sweatpants and sneakers. But Angel? She's taking it to a whole new level. This isn't just about looking good. It's about making a statement. It's like she's saying, yeah, I'm here to play ball, but I'm also here to slay. And let me tell you, she's doing both. Let's talk about this all-white Prada outfit for a second. Prada, folks. We're not talking about your average sportswear brand here. This is high fashion meets basketball court, and Angel is pulling it off like it's no big deal. The all-white look is bold, it's clean, and it's screaming confident. It's like she knows she's going to dominate on the court. So why not dominate in the style game too? And can we talk about that handbag? $1,299 might seem like a lot for a bag to some of us. But in the world of designer fashion, it's actually pretty modest. But it's not about the price tag, it's about the statement. Angel is showing that she's not just an athlete. She's a brand. She's a style icon. She's someone who understands the power of image. This whole look is giving me major, I'm not just here to play, I'm here to be remembered vibes. And you know what? I'm here for it. Gone are the days when athletes were expected to just show up, play, and go home. Now, every moment is an opportunity to showcase who you are, both on and off the court. But let's not forget, this isn't just about looking good for the cameras. This is about confidence, about feeling your best so you can play your best. And if an all-white Prada outfit and a designer handbag is what makes Angel feel like she can conquer the world, or at least the basketball court, then more power to her. Now, I know some people might be thinking, is this really necessary? Shouldn't athletes just focus on the game? And to that I say, why can't they do both? Why can't an athlete be passionate about their sport and also express themselves through fashion? Angel Reese is showing us that you don't have to choose. You can be a beast on the court and a fashion icon off it. And let's be real, this kind of pregame style isn't new. We've seen it in other sports, especially in the NBA. Players like Russell Westbrook and James Harden have been turning heads with their pregame outfits for years. But in women's basketball, this feels fresh, exciting, and honestly, long overdue. What Angel is doing here is more than just wearing expensive clothes. She's challenging expectations, she's pushing boundaries, and she's showing young girls everywhere that you can be an athlete and still embrace your femininity, your style, individuality. And that, my friends, is powerful stuff. But let's not forget, at the end of the day, Angel Reese is a basketball player and a damn good one at that. This outfit, as stunning as it is just the prelude to what really matters: performance on the court. And if her style game is any indication of her play, well, her opponents better watch out. Now, I've been scrolling through social media, and let me tell you, people have opinions about this look. Some fans are loving it, praising Angel for her bold style choices. Others? Well, let's just say not everyone's on board with the high fashion pregame look. One fan on social media said, "That Friday feeling," clearly vibing with Angel's confident strut into the arena. Another commented, "Chen looks so cute," focusing on one of Angel's teammates who was also bringing their fashion A-game. But of course, where there's praise, there's also criticism. One particularly harsh comment read, "Thugs, thugs, and more thuggery. The Chicago way. Cannot compete. Play the thug role and commit more flagrants. Angry and jealous comes to mind." Now, I've got to say, that's a pretty intense reaction to a pregame outfit. It's clear that for some people, seeing athletes, especially women athletes, embrace high fashion is still a bit of a shock. On a more positive note, another fan chimed in with, "Dana, stay putting that set on," appreciating not just Angel's style, but her teammate Dana's as well. It's clear that this team isn't just coordinated on the court, but in their fashion choices too. What's interesting to me is how polarizing this whole thing is. On one hand, you've got people celebrating these young women for expressing themselves and embracing their personal style. On the other, you've got folks who seem to think that athletes should stick to athletic wear and leave the high fashion for, well, I'm not sure who they think it's for. But here's the thing, fashion and sports have been intertwined for a long time now. Think about it. How many kids wore Air Jordans not because they were the best basketball shoes, but because they wanted to be like Mike? How many people rocked jerseys of their favorite players? Not on game day, but as a fashion statement. What Angel Reese and her teammates are doing is just the next evolution of this relationship between sports and style. They're not waiting for someone else to define their image. They're taking control of it themselves, and they're doing it flair. Now let's zoom out a bit and talk about what this means in the bigger picture. Women's sports, including the WNBA, have been fighting for more recognition, more respect, and yes, more financial support for years. And part of that fight is about visibility. It's about being seen not just as the athletes, but as full, complex individuals with interests and passions beyond the court. By stepping out in high fashion, by making headlines for their style choices, these players are demanding attention. They're saying, look at us. We're here, we're talented, and we're worth watching. And you know what? It's working. We're talking about it right now, aren't we? But it's not just about getting attention. It's about changing perceptions. For too long, there's been this idea that women athletes have to choose between being seen as serious athletes and embracing their femininity or personal style. Angel Reese and her teammates are saying, nah, we can do both. And let's be clear, this isn't just about Prada and expensive handbags. It's about self-expression. It's about these young women showing the world who they are, both on and off the court. For some, that might mean designer labels. For others, it might mean something completely different. The point is, they're making that choice for themselves. Now, I know some people might be rolling their eyes and thinking it's just clothes. Why are we making such a big deal out of this? But here's the thing. It's never just about the clothes. It's about what the clothes represent. It's about the confidence to be yourself, to express yourself, even when you know not everyone's gonna get it or like it. And in a world where women athletes still face so much scrutiny, so much criticism that has nothing to do with their athletic performance, that kind of confidence is revolutionary. It's a statement. It's saying, I'm here, I'm successful, and I'm going to enjoy it on my terms. But let's bring it back to Angel Reese for a moment. This isn't the first time she's made headlines for things other than her incredible basketball skills. She's been in the spotlight for her confident attitude, trash talk on the court, and yes, her style off it. And every time, sparks conversation. Some people love it, praising her for her confidence and her refusal to dim her light for anyone. Others criticize her, saying she's too flashy, too loud, too much. But you know what? That's exactly why what she's doing is so important. By being unapologetically herself, by embracing her style, her personality, her confidence, Angel is challenging stereotypes. She's showing young girls everywhere that you don't have to fit into anyone else's box. You can be a fierce competitor on the court and a fashion icon off it. You can trash talk your opponents and still show up to the game looking like you just stepped off a runway. And let's not forget, Angel Reese isn't just any player. She's a star. She's a champion. She led LSU to a national title, and she did it with style and flair. So when she shows up to a game in all-white Prada with a designer handbag, she's not just making a fashion statement. She's making a statement about who she is and what she's accomplished. Now, I want to take a moment to address something that's been bubbling under the surface of a lot of these conversations about Angel Reese and her style. There's an undeniable racial component to some of the criticism she faces. When people use words like thug to describe a young black woman who's simply expressing herself through fashion, we need to call that out for what it is. This kind of criticism isn't new. Black athletes, especially black women athletes, have long faced unfair scrutiny and double standards when it comes to their appearance, their attitude, and yes, their style. But players like Angel Reese are challenging these stereotypes head-on. They're refusing to be boxed in by anyone's expectations of what a woman athlete should look like or how she should behave. And you know what? That's exactly why we need more of this. We need more young athletes showing the world that you can be multifaceted, that you can be an elite athlete and a fashion icon. You can be competitive and feminine, that you can be confident and still have room to grow. Now, let's talk about the impact this kind of visibility can have. Think about all the young girls out there who are watching Angel Reese. They're seeing a young woman who's at the top of her game, who's confident, stylish, and unapologetically herself. What kind of message does that send? It says you don't have to choose between being an athlete and being interested in fashion. It says you can be tough on the court and glamorous off it. It says you can be successful on your own terms. And in a world where young girls are constantly bombarded with messages about how they should look, how they should act, how they should be, that's a powerful thing. But it's not just about inspiring young girls. It's about changing the conversation around women's sports in general. For too long, women athletes have been undervalued, underpaid, and underappreciated. By commanding attention, by refusing to be ignored, players like Angel Reese are helping to shift that narrative. They're showing that women's sports are exciting, that they're worth watching, they're worth investing in. And if it takes a Prada outfit and a designer handbag to get people talking, to get people paying attention, then so be it. Now I want to circle back to something I mentioned earlier. The idea that this kind of fashion focus is somehow a distraction from the game. I've heard people argue that athletes should just focus on their sport, that all this attention to style is unnecessary. But I think that misses the point entirely. First of all, there's no reason to believe that caring about fashion somehow detracts from an athlete's focus or performance. If anything, feeling confident and comfortable in your own skin can enhance your performance. And if dressing up in designer clothes before a game helps Angel Reese get in the right headspace to dominate on the court, then more power to her. Secondly, we need to remember that athletes are whole people. They're not just the sum of their stats or their on-court performance. They have interests, passions, and personalities that extend beyond their sport. And embracing those aspects of themselves doesn't make them any less dedicated to their craft. In fact, I'd argue that allowing athletes to express themselves fully, show all sides of their personality, only makes sports more interesting, more relatable, and more fun to watch. It gives fans more ways to connect with players, more reasons to tune in and pay attention. And let's be real, sports are entertainment. Yes, they're about athletic excellence and competition, but they're also about storytelling, about drama, about personality. The stories we tell about sports, the narratives we build around players and teams, that's what turns casual viewers into die-hard fans. So when Angel Reese shows up to a game in a head-turning outfit, she's not just playing basketball. She's telling a story. She's building her brand. She's creating a narrative that extends beyond the court. And that's good for her, it's good for her team, and ultimately, it's good for the sport. Now, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that not every player is going to want to express themselves through high fashion. And that's okay too. The point isn't that every athlete needs to show up in designer clothes. The point is that athletes should feel free to express themselves in whatever way feels authentic to them. For some, that might mean designer outfits. For others, it might mean casual streetwear. For others still, it might mean focusing solely on their game and letting their performance speak for itself. There's no one right way to be an athlete, just like there's no one right way to be a person. What's important is that we create an environment in sports where all of these expressions are welcomed and celebrated, where athletes feel free to be themselves, to express their personalities without fear of unfair criticism or backlash. And that brings me back to Angel Reese and her Prada outfit. Yes, it's just clothes. Yes, it's just a handbag. But it's also so much more than that. It's a statement. It's a challenge to the status quo. It's a young woman saying, "This is who I am, take it or leave it." In a world that often tries to put people, especially women, especially Black women, into boxes, that kind of self-assurance is powerful, it's inspiring, and it's exactly what we need more of in sports. So the next time you see an athlete making headlines for their fashion choices, or their personality, or anything beyond their performance on the field or court, remember this: they're not just athletes. They're people. Complex, multifaceted, interesting people. And embracing all aspects of who they are doesn't make them any less dedicated to their sport. If anything, it makes them more relatable, more human, and ultimately, more inspiring. As we wrap up this discussion, I want to leave you with a thought. Sports have always been about more than just the game. They're about stories, about personalities, about pushing boundaries and challenging norms. What Angel Reese and other athletes like her are doing when they express themselves through fashion isn't new. It's just the latest chapter in the ongoing story of sports and culture. Though whether you love the high fashion pre-game looks or you think they're unnecessary, one thing's for sure: they've got us talking. They've got us paying attention. And in a world where women's sports still fight for recognition and respect, that attention is valuable. In the end, what matters most is what happens on the court. But how athletes choose to express themselves off the court, that's part of the story too. And it's a story I, for one, am excited to keep watching unfold. This is Jenny from Sports Day Tribune signing off. Remember, in sports and in life, the most important thing is to be true to yourself. Whether that means designer outfits or not, what matters is that you play your game your way. Until next time, keep watching, keep talking, and keep celebrating the diversity and personality that makes sports so exciting. Peace out, sports fans.